Today we're doing section 5.4. We're adding and subtracting in scientific notation. Tonight you'll be doing a worksheet you can check on Schoology. Okay? Section 5.4, and we are learning how to add and subtract in scientific notation. So here is a problem, and we can add and subtract in scientific notation. The first thing we need to do is get our powers of 10 to the same base. Now, we can either make them both bigger, make one bigger, so they're both 10 to the 5th, or we can make one smaller, so they're both 10 to the 4th. Okay? Let's make this second one smaller. Now, if this gets smaller, then 9 and 24/100ths gets what? Bigger, right? Okay, so I'm going to keep using 6 and 89/100ths times 10 to the 4th. Okay, and over here we have that plus sign in between. And so this is now going to become 92 and 4/10 times 10 to the 4th power. So now really what we can do is we can just add our decimal numbers together, 6 and 89/100ths. It says plus 92 and 4/10. Oh, sorry, it says plus, plus. And then aren't they both multiplied by 10 to the 4th power? Okay, so just reminding you that when we add our decimals, we line up decimal digits. Okay, and I'm adding a 0 for that placeholder. So when I add going up and down, I get 9, I get 12, carry the 1, it's 9, and it's a 9, and I bring my decimal down. So this becomes 99 and 29/100ths times 10 to the 4th. Is that in scientific notation? No. Dakota, what do I need to do?
We're going to have to divide it
by
10.
Good. And so I'm going to make this first one is going to be smaller or bigger?
It's going to get smaller.
This will get smaller, and the power of 10 will get bigger. So I'm dividing by 10, so I get 9 and 929 thousandths times 10, and we went by one digit, so this gets multiplied by 10. Right? And so we are done. Questions? Yes?
How did you had to the 10 to the 4th the entire time, but how did you get
Because I'm multiplying, the question is, I multiplied this by, I'm dividing this by 10. Moving a decimal is really dividing by 10. And the other one, I'm making it bigger by multiplying by 10.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so I'm going to just show you off over here. I could have done 6 and 89/100ths times 10 to the 4th. I think if you make it bigger, if you go with the bigger one, there's less steps. Okay? And so then I'm doing 9 and 24/100ths times 10 to the 5th. Okay? So let's make them both bigger. You'll see it doesn't matter which one you do. Okay, let's make this one bigger. And that means the 6 and 89/100ths is going to what?
Get smaller.
Right, that'll get smaller. So then I end up I'm moving my decimal one place here, because I only have to make it bigger by 1. So I end up with 689 thousandths times 10 to the 5th plus 9 and 24/100ths times 10 to the 5th. You guys with me?
Yep.
Can you see it? And I'm adding those decimals. It's 9 and 24/100ths. This time I'm adding 6 8, 9. I'm adding a 0 here, a lead 0 here, and a 0 here just as a placeholder. I end up with 9, 12, carry the 1, it's 9. Bring down my decimal, and I have 9. So we end up with 9 and 20,
9.9.
9.92. Sorry, I've got it all enlarged. 9.92. 9 times 10 to the 5th. So did you see how in the end here, because I went to the bigger power, I didn't have to change it in the end?
Would you like this?
I don't care which way you do.
Yeah, but does it always have to be into scientific?
Absolutely. If they ask you to do anything in scientific notation, unless they ask you to go to standard form, if they ask you to go to standard form, then you're going to move the decimal over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? But if they say calculate the following in scientific notation, then you have to finish in scientific notation. All right? So now you guys are going to try one. Okay, pause the recording, and I want you to try the next one on your own. Okay, so we're taking our 2 and 8500ths times 10 to the 7th plus 1 and 6100ths times 10 to the 9th. Okay, what are we going to do, Eitan?
So what I did was I made the exponent bigger because there's less steps.
Okay, so it becomes bigger by how many? 10 to the 7th?
2 places.
And so it becomes 10 to the...
To the 9th, and the other digit
Since this is getting bigger, what happens to the other one?
it gets smaller by
Good.
100 times divided by 100.
Okay.
And what it becomes is 0.0285. And then the other side remains the same.
Okay.
And then I just added them, which was pretty simple because all I needed to add was the 1 and 2 and just keep the rest.
Oops, hold on. So I'm going to line it up. Hold on. All times.
10 to the 9th.
Okay, and so I'm going to line it up. 0 and then I'm lining up 1 and 61, and I'm adding zeros, so it's 5, 8, 3, 6. Bring down the decimal and then the 1. So my answer is, I need you to stop talking.
1.6385 times 10 to the 9.
Okay, now, please note, do not cut these decimals off. It will be wrong. Got it? I had a lot of people that did that on their quiz. Okay, questions here. So we've added. Subtracting's pretty similar. Sometimes, however, they give one in scientific. It says, express the result in scientific notation. Evaluate the expression. That means find the value of the expression. So we're going to convert this to scientific notation. So what does that become in scientific notation? How about Harry?
It becomes
1 point. No, you're leaving out a digit.
1.6.
No, it's not 1.6. Because look, you're leaving out this digit, Harry.
1.161.
Good. Times 10 to the 3, 6, no, to the 7th power, because it has to, the decimal has to actually go right in here, in between, to make it a number between 1 and 10. Right? This is 3, this is 6. Okay. And then we have 7 and 8300ths times 10 to the 8th. Okay, we going bigger or smaller? Yes?
Can you convert it to standard form?
No, I want to know that you can do this in scientific notation. But you could, I mean, by rights you could. But your standard is, can you calculate in scientific notation? Okay, so what am I doing next, David?
You made the 1.161 bigger.
Bigger?
Smaller, and
Okay,
it gets
smaller, and it becomes
uh,
smaller by how many?
by 1
Okay, and so it becomes 0.
and 100. No,
So this is small.
1,161 millionths.
And this becomes what?
10,000.
Times
10,000.
10 to the what?
8.
8th. Okay. And
Do you have to write it big small?
okay, and so now we're both of them are at 10 to the 8th, 7 and 8300ths times 10 to the 8th. And now what are we doing?
Subtracting like terms.
Right, we're going to subtract the 7 and 8300ths minus 0 and, oh my gosh, is this 1,161 10,000ths? And all of that is times 10 to the 8th power. So, no, it's not. Okay, so all I'm doing, I'm subtracting 7 and 8300ths, and I'm lining this up, 1,161. I'm adding extra placeholders, right? Now, notice when I can't borrow from the 0, so I'm moving over to the 3. That becomes a 2, and that becomes a 10, but that is going to become a 9. So that becomes a 10 minus 1 is 9. 9 minus 3, 6 is 3. And 2 minus 1 is 1. And 8 minus 1 is 7. And then I have a 7, so it becomes 7 and 7,139 10,000ths times 10 to the 8th power. Okay? Questions? So we have lots of controversy, and I just want to remind you, the sign here is minus. So we are subtracting. Okay, we are subtracting. Okay, questions? All right. Let's try one more. So let's try one more. And pause the recording and do the next one on your own. Let's check our answer. So you can see we have to, whoops, okay. You should have gotten 7 and 839 thousandths times 10 to the 6th power. Did everybody get that?
Yes.
All right. That is it. And you guys can begin on your worksheet. Guys, I'm recording.
I'm sorry.
There we go. That's the end of the recording.